Love that changed destiny. Chapter 1. A chance encounter. The rain poured relentlessly over the city, drumming against the pavement like a melancholic melody. Evelyn, a young and ambitious artist, hurried through the crowded streets, clutching her umbrella as she made her way to an art gallery where her first exhibition was being held. She was running late, and the anxiety in her chest only grew stronger. Just as she turned a corner, she bumped into someone. Hard. The impact sent her sketchbook flying into the air before landing in a puddle. "I'm so sorry," she exclaimed, bending down to retrieve her sketches. A strong hand reached out at the same time, lifting the soaked pages with care. "No, it's my fault," said the man, his deep voice warm and apologetic. "I wasn't looking where I was going." Evelyn looked up, meeting a pair of piercing blue eyes. The man had an air of quiet confidence, his suit slightly damp from the rain. "I hope your sketches aren't ruined," he added, handing them back to her. She shook her head. "They can be redrawn, but I really need to go." "Let me walk you there," he offered. "It's the least I can do after causing this mess." Reluctantly, Evelyn agreed. They walked side by side, her hurried steps slowing as their conversation unfolded. His name was Adrian Sinclair, a successful entrepreneur with a passion for art, though he claimed he had no talent for it himself. By the time they reached the gallery, Evelyn found herself reluctant to part ways. Chapter 2. A growing connection. Over the next few weeks, Adrian found excuses to visit the gallery, always claiming he was just passing by. He purchased one of Evelyn's paintings, though she suspected he did it just to support her. "Why do I feel like you're always around?" she teased one evening as they shared coffee at a small cafe. "Because I want to be," Adrian admitted, his gaze unwavering. "I can't explain it, Evelyn, but ever since we met, I felt drawn to you." Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. She had felt it too, a connection that defied logic. Still, she hesitated. She had been burned before, and Adrian's world seemed far removed from hers. "I'm just an artist struggling to make ends meet," she said, looking down at her coffee. You have everything." Adrian reached for her hand. "None of that matters. What matters is what's between us, and I think it's something special." Chapter 3. Love and Doubt. As their relationship blossomed, Evelyn found herself stepping into Adrian's world, a world of business meetings, high-class events, and media attention. She felt out of place, though Adrian did everything he could to make her comfortable. "I don't belong here," she confided in him one evening after an upscale charity gala. "You belong wherever you want to be," he countered, "and I want you by my side." Despite his reassurance, doubts gnawed at her. Adrian's family, particularly his mother, made it clear they didn't approve of her. "She's talented, yes, but what does she bring to your life besides romantic ideals?" his mother had said. Evelyn overheard the conversation and left before Adrian could see the hurt in her eyes. Chapter 4. The Breaking Point. One evening, Evelyn made the hardest decision of her life. "I can't do this anymore," she told Adrian. her voice barely above a whisper. I love you, but love alone isn't enough. Adrian's expression crumbled. Evelyn, don't do this. Tears welled in her eyes, but she stood firm. You deserve someone who fits into your world, and I deserve someone who doesn't have to fight for me to be accepted. She walked away, leaving behind the man who had changed her life, but whom she feared she could never truly have. Chapter 5. Time apart. Years passed. Evelyn's career flourished, her paintings gaining international recognition. But success felt hollow without Adrian. Meanwhile, Adrian had thrown himself into his work, but no matter how many deals he closed or accolades he received, nothing filled the void Evelyn had left. Then one day, fate intervened. Chapter 6. Destiny's Hand. Evelyn's latest exhibition was in Paris, and as she stood in the Grand Gallery, admiring her work, a familiar voice spoke behind her. I always knew you'd make it. She turned, her breath catching as she saw Adrian standing there, unchanged yet different, more mature, more certain. Adrian, she whispered. I never stopped loving you, he said simply, and I never will. Tears blurred her vision. I was so afraid we couldn't make it work. Adrian stepped closer. We were meant to be, Evelyn. Love isn't about fitting into a world. It's about creating one together. She smiled through her tears, realizing that love, true love, had found its way back to them. And this time, she wouldn't let it go. Epilogue. Love that changed destiny. Years later, Evelyn and Adrian stood in their shared home, a beautiful countryside estate filled with art, love, and laughter. They had faced trials, doubts, and distance, but their love had rewritten their destiny. As Evelyn placed the final brushstroke on her latest masterpiece, she turned to Adrian, who watched her with admiration. What do you think? He smiled. It's perfect, just like us. Love, after all, wasn't about the world they came from. It was about the world they built together.